that it's not 100% conclusive, but it's enough there to worry about it.
He says he's not worried about it?
He's worried about it.
Oh, well.
No, Putin said he agreed with the Americans.
Well, and Russia also said they were going to step up their participation in Syria.
You there, Elisa?
Well, let's just keep going.
Yeah, I know, but her phone keeps going on and off. I don't know when she's on, when she's off.
If she, she'll say something. Send her a text. Send her a text.
Yeah, I'm going to try to call her now, which I did a second ago.
But, one of the other things that we wanted to discuss, like I said, Friday is sort of like a religious day, but we've been discussing many things for those of you who have been listening, from Common Core.
Yeah.
To a little bit of sports.
Yeah.
We have, right now, as we speak, we have, actually it's over, the forum in South Carolina.
Yep.
Rachel Maddow and the three Democratic contenders for, the presidential nomination.
Right.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to watch or listen to any of it. We did see Martin O'Malley at the beginning, but we turned it off when Bernie Sanders came on because we had to go on the air.
Yeah, he's too loud. We got another phone call. All right. Go ahead, Mark.
Okay. As I said, we don't know what was being discussed. I can tell you that Rachel Maddow was doing a pretty fair job of mixing up the questions, and didn't get to see Hillary at all. But I have it DVR'd at home, so I will probably watch it when I get home tonight. Maybe take some notes so that on Monday, when we do our show, I can maybe report a little bit on it. But, right now it is coming close to 10:15. We're getting close to our witching hour. If you were listening, we sort of lost Elisa. Technical problems. But we're going to get ready probably to wrap it up. I'll leave it up to the Rev to do his thing and maybe play one or two more songs, and then we'll close it up. But that's about it, folks. As I said, our number is 646-595-3275. If you have anything to say, please give us a call. We would love to hear from you. We welcome any and all callers. You know that.
So, what I'd like somebody to do is some of our listeners are calling us on my cell saying they're having problems hearing us. So if anybody can hear us and just jump into the chat room or give us a call and let us know that you hear us. I'd appreciate it. And a couple of things I did want to talk with you, Mark, which I didn't get a chance to talk about. One, obviously, as you said about the Russian plane, yes, that was there's nothing conclusive, but there's enough evidence that everybody's very worried. And now just about everybody stopped flying into Egypt completely.
Well,
and they got thousands of tourists from in Egypt right now stuck trying to go back to England, Russia.
Well, thank goodness the American, our government has put out a directive, telling Americans not to fly into the area because may not be able to get them out. And especially since some of these attacks by ISIS are with lone wolf. I mean, I have no idea who made, if it was a bomb, who made the bomb. Okay, how they got it onto the plane. So and they don't.
Yeah.
The more people they kill, the better off they feel. So you know. But other than that,
But you hear the speaker or not?
there's really nothing else to report on this end. So
Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be something to do with Blog Talk Radio.
I
don't know.
leave it up to the rebellious Rev here to end the show. I am going to get ready to sign off because
you know how to blog. I mean, how to chat on the.
Falling asleep
a chat
over
room.
the airwaves, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting very tired, and I think that's about it for me.
Okay, I didn't know you needed.
Sort of talked out.
All right, listen, I gotta go back to Mark.
But please, you have our number. You know that you can type in, come into the chat room, give us type in a question, a message, let us know. First of all, let us know if you even hear us.
Exactly, because I just had another actually say somebody else trying to call us, and they say they can't get through. They call and they hear us, they can't hear us. But I believe we're possibly we're only broadcasting on Spreaker and not on Blog Talk Radio. That's one possibility. The other one is because they do hear us on Spreaker, but they can't. We're not able to
accept phone calls. Yeah, I know.
And I try to place a phone call, the same thing happened. So that part of the show may be dead. We don't know, but our loyal Spreaker audience can hear us just fine, and they are our biggest part of our audience anyway.
That's true.
But anyway, a couple of topics real quick, which I keep getting interrupted by this person telling us we're failing on the show. Like you said, with what's his name?
Putin.
With Putin. I mean, there's nothing conclusive yet, but there's enough evidence pointing in that direction. Everybody's panicking. And like you said, Putin might start really punishing ISIS a lot more for this, because the Russians are known to answer back.
They retaliate rather quickly and forcefully.
Which is probably the way you should. You can't just you can't but they're also the bullies most of the time. So come to think of it, but that's beside. The other things when we were talking about Carson.
Oh yes.
And the big thing when they were talking.
I did want to say one thing.
Well, you work. I must apologize. You're right. The education is free. They do have to pay for the uniforms and all that, but the education.
Well, that comes out of their stipend. They
said it hurts them a lot. But the thing is, you do have to have wonderful grades. You have to be a very good student. You have to be a proven leader, and you do get equivalent, and you do get a scholarship. Eh?
Well, both of our sons have a very dear friend who went to West Point. Played. He was a quarterback of the high school football team. Surprisingly, although after speaking with him about it, I'm not surprised. He said, you go to one of these service academies, you must take some sort of sport. And he said football was way too much for him. Okay, and it wasn't only, believe me, it wasn't only in West Point, because my youngest son also played hockey, and he had friends that he played hockey with who went to schools like Yale and NYU, and they played soccer. And when it came to playing college sports, they had to devote so much time to the college sport, they felt that their regular grades would suffer. Okay. And I remember when my son went to Johnson in Wales and wanted to play hockey, Um, he had to be up and on the ice at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then they had like 3 hours worth of practice time. He'd get home. He didn't even have time to take a nap because then he had to do homework because he had afternoon classes. His classes ran from 1:30 to about 6:30. So, it became too much and he just couldn't do it. All right.
So what did the guy in West Point want to end up doing? What sport?
I have no idea.
Neither do I. But what I was saying is, you have to be a good student, a very good student.
Well, you also need a nomination you have to be nominated by a member of Congress, okay, a politician. They hold out a certain number of slots every year for children of Medal of Honor winners, children of alumni from the military academies, okay, and also from the ranks. You can apply as a member of the Army or Navy or Air Force. If you score well enough on the aptitude tests, you can come right from the ranks and enter the service academies. So there are a number of ways to get in, but it is very difficult. No two ways about it.
So the story is that in his book, Carson said that somebody asked, told him he could get a scholarship in West Point, and the news media starts saying West Point doesn't give scholarships to people.
Well, because everybody who goes to one of the service academies is basically on scholarship
Yeah.
because, once you get in, you raise your hand and you take the oath, you're in the service.
Yeah.
So you are technically in the service of your country.
With the rank of cadet.
Right.
So they're saying that he was basically exaggerating and lying that there is no such thing, and then West Point answered his critics by saying it could be people often make informal invites for people to apply for the school that they think they'll get a scholarship, and there are no records of it, and it's not uncommon.
Right.
Considering his grades in school and everything else.
Well, don't forget the big part of that was his ROTC.
Yeah.
He excelled in ROTC, and he made a quick rise up the ranks. Now, I will say one thing about Ben Carson, okay, because I remember my teaching days in junior high school. We read sort of like a comic version of his autobiography, sort of. Not the one that he himself wrote, but it was like a biographical sketch of a few pages. And he was a tough kid. He was mixed up in gangs in junior high school. Okay, now they did say something about, I heard on the news about some sort of stabbing. I don't know.
Well, he said he stabbed somebody as a kid.
I don't know what his involvement was. I do know that he dropped out for a while and then came back, but he made a complete 180. Okay, he became very focused in school, knew what he wanted to do. Now, his claim was that he didn't accept anything from West Point because he knew he wanted to be a doctor. Well, I hate to tell him this. He went to Yale on a partial scholarship. Okay. But I remember watching a program where it had to do with one of the medical schools. And one of the students in medical school was an officer in the Army. And the government was paying for his medical school.
Yeah, of course.
So Ben Carson could have gone had he desired.
But then he would have had to serve a certain amount of years in the Army.
But he would have been a doctor. Okay.
He didn't want to do that.
Well, I'm just saying, but he said he let it be known that he wants